Stadium with a team that desperately needs a win. And
it's the highest scoring offense in the country, Kirk. Clemson.
Yeah, Will Proctor, the first-year starting quarterback as a fifth-year senior, has been managing the team very well. I think he'll have to throw the ball more tonight. C.J. Spiller, one of the best true freshmen, I think the best true freshman in the country, exploded onto the scene last week. Chancey Stuckey is back in the lineup. That's Proctor's go-to man tonight. Keep an eye on number 2. They're going to have to throw the ball to him. And I want you to watch Antonio Clay, the middle linebacker, with all the injuries that they have sustained on that side of the ball. Antonio Clay, especially tonight against Virginia Tech's offense that has to run the ball, will be very, very active in the middle of that Tiger defense.
Clemson defense is underrated. They're a top 10 defense nationally in rushing and in total yards allowed. Frank Beamer, his very first game 20 seasons ago at Virginia Tech was a loss right here to Clemson. His program's come a long way since then. They need a big impact game from the workhorse Brandon Orr, and this is again another look at the Clemson impact players.
Yeah, and again, one thing you know about when you talk about Frank Beamer is the energy that he and his staff create with their players. And I've been coming to Blacksburg to do games for a long time. I don't think I've ever, the day before the game, had a sit down with the players from Virginia Tech and the coordinators. These guys are excited. Sean Glennon, the quarterback, number 7, will have to play well or will have to come up with some big throws. Brandon Orr carries the load. 88% of the offense on the ground is on his shoulders, so he's carrying the load. And Vince Hall, much like Clay, will be active and will be pressured all day by C.J. Spiller and James Davis, maybe the best 1-2 tandem of backs in all of college football.
There's the lunch bell we talked about. Somebody in the Hokie defense is going to have to earn it back. You can see a light rain beginning to fall. Temperatures will drop into the 30s. Might be a factor tonight. Jared DeVelli to kick off for the Hokies. Normally pounds it deep into the end zone. This is a line drive. It'll be taken on the hop by Jacoby Ford, the true freshman for Clemson. Ford, the speedster from Florida, finding a crease and getting out near the 30-yard line. Clemson won the toss and said, we want the football. And they'll be led out there by Will Proctor, the quarterback who's waited until his senior year to finally be a starter. And that offensive line is really the story for this Clemson offense. They're physical. They're experienced. And Chris McDuffie will fill in for the injured Roman Fry in there tonight.
And that's one of the keys to this offense is the continuity up front. And even with Roman Fry down, McDuffie stepping in, great deal of experience. And tonight on the road, Will Proctor will have to rely on that offensive line in the running game to try to have some success early to help take this crowd out.
Stuckey in the top of your screen, and it is James Davis again playing with that tender left shoulder to start the ball game. They flip it back in the screen, whistle before the snap. And right away, problems for the visiting offense.
Timeout, Clemson.
Forced to burn a timeout before the very first play of the game. A lot of shifting there in that first play and perhaps a little confusion. Talked about the Virginia Tech defense having to earn that lunch pail. The guys who have to earn their keep tonight are the defensive backs. Rouse, slightly in the doghouse. DJ Parker, tough player, and Macho Harris and Flowers will be on the spot tonight.
Well, you know the safety is going to be up in run support with Clemson running the football as well as they have this year, averaging 260 yards a game on the ground. That's 4th in the nation. Bud Foster telling us yesterday. And by the way, the look in the eye yesterday of Bud Foster, I want to give him some pats tonight. Bud Foster is ready to play football, and you know his defense is ready to play football. With the way things have happened in conference play the last couple outings, you can see the energy, I'm telling you.
And my man's intense when he's brushing his teeth. But now, tonight's extra. Yeah.
He is fired up tonight, and you know that's rubbed off on his players. It'll be interesting to watch the first 5 minutes of this game to see the emotions of this game.
Hokies, 6th in total defense. Very good against the pass. Number 6 nationally in terms of passing yards allowed.
Look at the Hokies with eight guys up close to the line of scrimmage.
Tight end in motion. Davis behind Proctor gets the first handoff. Kind of tiptoes into the center of the line for no gain. Chris Ellis came over from his end position to make the tackle. Defensive ends in this Hokie defense very good. Ellis and Burchett.
One of the things we're going to clearly see from Bud Foster, especially on first down, is he's going to put his safeties right at the line of scrimmage. Clemson still feels, because of the success of their tight ends, they can run into an 8-man front. That will be a challenge tonight against the Hokies.
Two tight ends. Now they step Michael Palmer in motion. Proctor's short drop. Pump fake. Has a little crease and now dives down after a short gain. Vince Hall was lurking. So is Brendan Hill, and Proctor got to the ground.
See, this is my point, is I think Bud Foster comes into this game saying, okay, we know that Clemson can run the football. Now, they've had these last 5 games, they've run for over 300 yards. So his thought is, we have to stop that running game, and let's make Clemson show that they can throw the football to beat us. That's been their lot of pressure here early in those first couple plays.
Can Proctor step up and make the throws if he has to tonight? His first throw, short one, complete, but stopped short of first down yardage is Michael Palmer, the true freshman tight end. Xavier Adibi was defending. I don't think he got the yardage on the far sideline.
I think he's going to be short. It's a good job here by Adibi, one of the leaders of his defense. And Chris, I'm going to tell you, I know they beat Southern Miss, but because of the way things have gone for them in conference play, this is the best thing that could have happened for the energy and the confidence of this team. Adibi gets out to where he has to be before Palmer can extend the ball across for the first down. That's a great job there by number 11.
The 4-year punter for Clemson, Cole Chasen to boot it away. Eddie Royal is deep for the Hokies. Tech doesn't really come after it. They drop a few guys back. Not a particularly good kick from Chasen. Bounces out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. They'll spot it at the 28, and that's where Virginia Tech will take over for their first offensive possession. Well, Virginia Tech may need its wide receivers to make a play. Clemson certainly will key on stopping Brandon Orr in the running game. So can Josh Morgan and Eddie Royal. I see plenty of David Clowney and Josh Hyman as well.
See if Sean Glennon, much like Will Proctor, can handle a lot of pressure against Brandon Orr. Hokies got back to basics last week against Southern Miss, pounding the football for 284 yards.
Yeah, you see plenty of the workhorse in there. This is what they like to do. They'll run the tailback a lot. And it's a challenge for this Clemson defense, which I think has been underrated. Gaines Adams, scouts say, is a top 10 NFL pick. He's the leader there, very disruptive. A sack in his last 6 games. It's a school record.
Gaines Adams, one of the better defensive ends in all of college football with his speed. When he gets a chance to put the ears back and know that it's a pass, he will be in the backfield almost every time.
Short flip. It's caught by Josh Morgan, fighting toward the marker, but stopped short. Dwayne Coleman, a good job corralling him, about 2 yards shy of a first down.
And I'll tell you, Brandon Orr did a nice job of stepping up and taking on the blitz to give Glennon enough time to get the ball thrown to the outside. Morgan keeping his foot in bounds, fighting for extra yardage, and it was actually Gaines Adams dropping back in a zone blitz package there to help finish things off, showing that he can get out in the open field.
That's why he's a top 10 prospect. Their defensive end getting to the sideline. So 3rd and short. They go to Orr, left side, and Clemson stuffs him.
Brandon Orr on the carry.
He lost yardage. And both defenses able to rise up in the first series. Virginia Tech in a punting position. I'll tell you, this Clemson defensive line, you tend to think about the highest scoring offense, but Darrell Scott, Jock McKissick, they're kind of workman-like tackles. Look at the thickness of that guy's thighs.
And that's going to be a challenge tonight for Virginia Tech. We know that their left tackle is an experienced guy. Danny McGrath, the center, Dwayne Brown. But again, the interior of the 2 guards, they will be challenged by a physical Clemson front.
Playboy All-American punter Nick Schmidt, the lefty, to boot it away for the Hokies. It's a nice kick. Ford has it. No fair catch by the freshman, and he's hit immediately. Good job by the Hokies special teams, and Corey Price down there on the tackle. 40-yard punt. No return. Second possession straight ahead for the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what Shannon's saying?
Yeah, of course. Love their college. Everybody loves college football, especially in Blacksburg.
Yeah, turkey legs, is that the only thing you haven't eaten so far?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Well, For Clemson, their second possession, you're going to see C.J. Spiller, the true freshman sensation, one of the emerging stars in college football. His very first carry, immediately you see the quickness. He finds a hole, a little sidestep, and before D.J. Parker grabs him, it's a 7-yard gain.
Well, we've seen C.J. Spiller all year. Wake Forest game, he had a big play for him late in that game to be able to help Clemson win. Last week, though, I think he showed America how special he can be. I was saying earlier, looks like Reggie Ball. I meant to say it's Reggie Bush. He has that kind of ability, and Xavier Adebe, who faced Reggie Bush, feels the same way.
Spiller gets a handoff, breaks a tackle,
careful,
goes for a big game, gets a block on the corner, has a first down, and now kind of skips out of bounds. And he's very slow to get up on the field there. Victor Harris knocked him out. Spiller is down. It looked like maybe before he even got hit, something was wrong. Remember, James Davis, the starter, nicked up with his shoulder. He'll have to quickly get back in the ball game. And certainly hope for Spiller. This is nothing serious. It looks like a leg issue.
Chris, you're right on top of it. When he made the cut, he actually showed some strength here. Virginia Tech crowd the line. He gets to the outside. Once he gets out here, you're thinking he's got a shot, but watch the right hamstring. Looks like he comes up a little bit gimped there on that leg. We'll have to keep an eye on, hear from Aaron Andrews on how severe that injury might be for C.J. Spiller.
And Clemson has to burn a second timeout already in the first 5 minutes of this game as they help Spiller to his feet. This is a guy that's a 100-meter track guy. He needs those legs to be effective. We'll keep a close eye on that when we come back to Blacksburg. C.J. Spiller back in the ball game. Besides that problem with his hip or his groin, he also got his arms scraped as he slid out of bounds. 2 carries and 15 yards for the freshman. Looks to be okay.
That's great to see him get up after coming up a little lame even before the contact.
Proctor flips it back far side. Chancey Stuckey back on the team after missing 3 games with a stress fracture of his foot. He's wrestled down out of bounds by Brandon Flowers. No flag on the tackle. 14-yard gain.
It's great to see, and great to see Chancey Stuckey back, Chris, but a good call on 1st and 10 with Virginia Tech crowding, putting everybody up to stop the run. Breaking a tendency here, throwing the football back to Stuckey, getting him involved, and Flowers with a little push. Vince Hall with a little bit of a push and a no call here, but 1st and 10 for Clemson.
Stuckey is a difference maker, by far their best receiver, and it's a big headline to have him back in the ball game tonight and help that passing game. Spiller for a 1-yard gain. Aaron, I know the Clemson folks felt a lot better about their chances having number 2 back in the mix.
Yeah, they did, Chris. Even though head coach Tommy Bowden joked around and said, hey, while he was gone, we led the nation in scoring, and when he was here, we hadn't. But Chancey Stuckey back. Proctor telling us this week, very glad to have him back, because, Kirk, they were the guys that worked together in the offseason quite a bit.
Good leadership, too.
Yeah, he's a great leader, a former quarterback, and he is the guy, as Aaron mentioned, that Will Proctor works so much with in the offseason.
Darrell Berry is the tight end in motion. Spiller gets it, and again they test the middle of that Hokie defensive line, and Barry, Booker, Carlton Powell, Burchett, and Ellis are up to the task. Vince Hall filling in for the tackle as well, so somewhat conservative call on 2nd and long.
2nd down, but not only the defensive front, they've got the safeties walked up tight. Look at the safeties walked up. Look how tight the linebackers are to the line of scrimmage. You have all these extra bodies making it very, very tough on that offensive line to try to create blocking angles, because the linebackers and safeties are so tight to the line of scrimmage to help the defensive linemen out.
Only 3 on the play clock. Proctor gets it, fires over the middle, complete. 1st down, caught by Tyler Grisham inside the 30 of the Hokies before Vince Hall makes the stop. Grisham, their sure-handed possession receiver. They compare him to Stokely. Both.
Yeah, and here is the quarterback, Will Proctor, showing that on 3rd down that he does have what it takes to execute. Gives a little look off to get the safety out into the flat, and then creates a nice window, and he puts the ball right in there to Grisham for the 1st down.